Well, Sean, we are right smack dab in the middle of the summer. It is hot and dry. And part of the modern reality is wildfires, not only here in Nevada, but all across, especially the Western United States. And we want everybody listening to be prepared.
Absolutely. We just saw it with the mahogany fire. It can happen at any time, frankly. Pretty hot out there and pretty dry. Mike Gulla, he is the director of underwriting over at Hippo Insurance. Here to talk to us about wildfires and protecting ourselves this season. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Let's talk about this. Obviously, here in Nevada, I think we all think we're pretty safe when it comes to everything. We have little earthquakes, but they're nothing crazy. Floods, yeah,
Sure.
but no, it doesn't happen very often. Wildfires, yeah, but that happens over there. It doesn't happen near here. Frankly, it can happen at any point, at any time, and in a lot of different places in our valley. What can Nevada homeowners do to protect themselves when it comes to wildfire?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing to do is assess the property that you have, right? Where do you live, right? You made the comment about where you are in the state. There's some areas that are more prone to wildfire than others.
Yeah.
So the first thing to do is understand your exposure, right? The second thing to do is really understand what your insurance covers and what it doesn't cover, right? If you're in a high prone fire area, you want to make sure you're always adequately covered in the event of a loss, especially a fire loss. You could lose everything you own.
Yeah.
So spending some time to go through your insurance policies, obviously super important.
Yeah, no question.
Boy, it is super important. And I don't know about you, Sean, but I have to kind of reread my insurance policy every year because I read it, I remember, and then I go, oh, wait a minute, am I covered for that?
Yeah.
So it's always good to keep that on hand for sure. I mean, the big threat here we're talking about is the possibility of losing our home to fire, isn't it?
It is. It is. And the most important thing on the home front to do is make sure that your house is as protected as it possibly can be, right? And that's really just upkeep. Pay close attention to your roof. We're just kicking off summer, springtime ended. Make sure your gutters are cleaned out. Make sure your bushes are trimmed, your trees are trimmed, any dead brush or anything else that's around on your property, that could actively catch on fire is something you want to make sure that you mitigate and get that removed to keep your home as protected as you possibly can.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, let's talk about inside the home. Any items inside the home that we should be thinking to insure and like maybe ones that we could probably skip?
Yeah, I mean, so I never tell anybody to skip anything, right, inside your house. Most people don't even realize how much stuff they actually have, and that's
Yeah.
considered, your personal contents. Having a good home inventory, if you're in a fire zone in an area where you may have to leave quickly, you may not even remember what you have in your house.
Yeah.
One thing I
Yeah.
always recommend to Hippo customers is to take a video. Everybody has a smartphone these days. Take your phone, walk through your house, and video everything that you have, just so you have a record of it, and it can really help expedite a claim in the event that a major loss occurs.
Really smart.
Boy, that is super, super smart advice. And not only that, but then keep a copy of that video somewhere safe. Gosh.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we're giggling, but like hindsight is 2020.
Well, I just know,
This
I
is
know my
serious
luck. We
stuff.
would have that video and then we'd save it inside the house. And then, oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
You should probably save that to the
right.
cloud just in case.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the event that in the true event that a total fire loss happens, and we've seen this time and time again in Nevada, Arizona, California, a lot of the western states that are prone to fire. If you lose everything, the difference in knowing your policy, being able to connect with your insurance company, understanding what you had and what you lost can really help expedite the claim process and make that happen faster. And in
Mhm.
times like we are today with COVID-19 and everything else taking place, the more prepared you can be, the better off you're going to be at the end of the day.
Of course. And knowing what's actually inside your insurance policy is really powerful as well. You got to make sure that you read the fine print, make sure that every single disaster that you think you're possibly prone to in your area, you're going to be covered for. Renters, what about renters? I mean, do
Yeah.
they have any insurance that they can get for something like this?
Yeah, they absolutely can. It's called an HO4 policy. It's a renter's policy, which really is intended to cover their liability protection as well as the contents that are within their apartment. Obviously, a little bit less risk. Apartments tend to be in areas that are less prone to burn. It's not a single family home, but there are markets to get an HO4 policy and make sure that you have the protection, as well as loss of use. If you have to leave your apartment and you have to go stay someplace else, it's always good to make sure that you have adequate coverage that will cover you to go and pay for the hotel costs and the food costs and the other things when you get displaced from your apartment.
Gotcha.
That's right. Any other safety tips you want to mention? I know that often, as wildfires happen, that sometimes people have no warning, but other times they know that wildfires are in their area. Even, smoke can do significant damage.
Yeah, I mean, being prepared, if you're in a fire area, you absolutely need to be prepared to evacuate. That's probably the most important thing. And we've seen it time and time again with some of these really severe fires that have happened in the last few years. People have very little time to react with pets. Having an emergency action plan if you have kids in your house, and really a strategy of where you're going to evacuate to, where you're going to go and stay, making sure that you have the basic necessities that you need to, for at least a couple of days to get out of your house in case there's a need.
No question. Great information. It's great having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great morning.
Are you as well? And if you want to find out more of these tips, you can go to our website, LasVegasMorningBlend.com.